So where does where does this one shot film that you did, like this single take film, where does that come into things? How old were you when you made that?
I was 30, 31, 32, thereabouts, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
It was...
So you wrote that film, right?
I wrote it, yeah. It was... Well, I co-wrote it. I wrote it with the director. The director did actually have their fingers in all pies in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know.
Sounds like a real partnership.
It was. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the experience. I mean, we did bicker about a few things, but I think when you're a creative and you're working with another creative, you're always going to get off on the wrong foot somewhere down the line, and it's better to get off on the wrong side of the foot first up.
Yeah.
Rather than, later on when you're full on into production and all that sort of stuff. Because by the time that we got to production, we could have been joined at the hip.
Yeah.
That's how much she worked on that film in the screenwriting process and all that sort of stuff. To the point where she was even entitled to a writer's credit, even though I did a lot of the writing myself. Yeah. And some of the things that she brought up for the script too were just absolutely amazing things, because you get this when you're writing, and you'd understand this yourself. When you're writing, you have a perspective, and you can put yourself into any number of the characters, and they're all different, but they're still your perspective. They're still like, if you're a man, they're the male perspective. Whereas with No by Heart, we had my perspective as a guy, and her perspective as a woman. So the relationship between the two characters in that short film was so realistic, because it actually came from two different sides of that coin. Everyone writes strong female characters as these big badass types, but the thing about it is, a strong woman in a realistic sense, and again, this does translate very well to cinema if you do it right. A strong woman can be somebody that is not afraid to be emotional, but they are very much in control.
Yeah.
And you get that with great films. Like, think about Terminator, for example. Terminator 2, scaled back, is about a woman that is trying to protect her son. And that is it.
Yeah.
And that is
extremely maternal.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is the reason why it works so many years later. You could put it on right now, and you would sit there and you would watch it from start to finish, because not only is the action amazing, but the story behind it all is just about how far a woman is willing to go to protect her son.
Yeah.
And that is it.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Sigourney Weaver in Alien. Like, she's a strong woman, she's very capable. But the situation that she finds herself in is so beyond her control that she has to find a way to take back that control in order to survive the situation.
And I think that's the cool thing about that, to me, just hearing you explain that, is by letting her in to assist with the writing process, it was almost like because the moment you let someone have creative input into your realm, that's a sacrifice.
It is, yeah. But everything that you do in the creative field is technically a sacrifice when you think about it.
It sounds like to me that was a really intentional sacrifice that you made for the greater good of the project and the story.
Well, it was better because of it. It was definitely better because of it. I mean, it would have gone to festivals, no doubt, no matter whether I wrote it myself or whether I wrote it with a team of people. It still would have gone there, because it was a completely different sort of story. Like, it was drama, but it had these horror aspects. And up until then, I was doing mostly horror stuff that was really messed up. Like, people being gutted and people doing unspeakable things to each other. And the one thing that I took away from that particular short film was that you can use horror aspects in any genre. You can use it in drama, you can use it in comedy, you can use it in any way, shape, or form that you want to. as long as it is fitting to the story that you're trying to tell.